Good morning, my YouTube viewers. It is Palestine here. I'm just making this video from my bedroom. Want to let you know I'm going to go to the pound shop today, see if I can get a selfie stick. And if I can get a selfie stick, I might be able to make some better videos. One thing that I've noticed is that when I look at myself in the mirror, I think, oh, you don't look so bad. You look okay. But whenever I look at my videos, I just think I don't look good at all. So I'm sorry if you don't like my appearance. I do my very best. I brush my hair and put on makeup and put on appealing glasses. So if you don't like my appearance, I do apologize. This is what a 63 and almost 64-year-old woman looks like. What I wanted to talk about in this video is, after having talked in previous videos where I discussed all the scars on my body, the fact, not all of them, I've got more scars, the fact that I didn't get to see a doctor growing up, the fact that my mom saw lots of doctors, but she didn't let her children see a doctor. Now I want to talk about her relationship with her mother. My mother had a very problematic relationship with her own mother, and my grandmother, my mother's mother, actually married my grandfather just to get out of the house. She just married him just to get out of the house. So obviously there were problems in her home if she would get married at a very young age just to get out of the house. And she married my grandfather because he was a widower, and his first wife had died of, I believe, scarlet fever. And so he needed someone to look after his son. So he married my grandmother, who was very young, maybe even she was a teenager. And basically, and then so my grandmother had 2 boys and 2 girls. She had a son and then a daughter, and then my mother, and then my uncle, and then she had another child that she said was stillborn, and she said that she knew that the baby was dead inside of her. So that must not have been very nice when she knew the baby was dead inside of her. And basically, my mom told me that she had been, well, I'm going to try to use a nice word so I don't get kicked off YouTube. She had been interfered with by 2 members of her family, but she didn't say, because she said that she didn't want to say because she didn't want me to think badly of them. So obviously it was people that I knew that did it. And so my mom got pregnant when she was 16 by my dad. My dad was, I think, 7 or 8 years older than she was, because my dad was born in, I think, 1935, and my mom was born in 1942. So my dad was 7 years older than my mom. My mom told me that she didn't know what he was doing, so she had no experience of sex when she got involved with my dad. And so she got pregnant, and apparently her mother, who's my grandmother, became hysterical and said that she shamed the family. And so then my mother had to get married to my father. And basically what happened was, after that incident, after my mom got pregnant at 16 and shamed the family, I suppose she was the outcast, that people just didn't look at her the same. They didn't treat her the same. And according to my grandmother, my father's mother, my grandfather and grandmother even moved house and didn't tell my mother that they had moved house. I mean, so that's how bad it was. And I remember my mom told me this, that my grandfather was upset about the situation that my mom was in, and my grandmother told my grandfather that if he helped her, she was going to leave him. So obviously, my grandmother didn't like her own child. She didn't like her own child. And I'm using nice language to say that, but that's pretty much what happened, that she didn't like her own child because she told my grandfather that if he helped my mother, she would leave him. But she did get a house. When she got married, she got a house. So my mother's parents gave her something when she got married. They gave her a house to live in, which is a lot more than I got off my parents. I got nothing from my mother, and I got an inheritance off my dad that I didn't get to keep. And that's the subject of another video that I won't talk about in this video. So so my mom always had a difficult relationship with her own mother. I remember even when I went to visit my mother one time, my grandmother wanted to fix dinner and my mom didn't want to go. And so we didn't go. And I do feel guilty about that. I did see my grandmother, but my mother didn't want to go to dinner at her house. And that just shows you the bad relationship that my mother had with her own mother. And so I just was brought up in that family where the mothers just didn't like the daughters, or they didn't like some of the daughters. And that's just the situation that it was in. And I just felt that I needed to make this video as a precursor to the other video, so you can have a little bit of a background into my own mother's upbringing. So maybe you can understand why she didn't do a good job on me. And I'm doing my best not to say bad things about my family, but so you can come to your own conclusions. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. I've talked about what I wanted to talk about, the fact that my mother's relationship with her own mother was quite fraught, and obviously that affected her relationship with her daughters. So I'm going to conclude this video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching my video and listening to my story, which is a true story, by the way. And I look forward to making another video for you very soon about more experiences that I've had. So thank you.